All right, in this video I want to show you how to use Excel to make the stacked bar graph for exercise 2 on the Earth's evolving atmosphere, one of our first labs this week. And what I'll do, I'll post this Excel file for you to use. That way you don't have to enter the data because I've already had the data entered here. But I'm going to show you how to make this graph, right? So what you want to do is you want to select the very first variable. And that first variable is going to be carbon dioxide, which is going to be on the y-axis, right? So to make a graph or a chart, you're going to select the first variable on the y-axis, or what's going to be stacked. And then you want to go over here to charts over here. And so you click on charts, and we're going to do this columns. And the columns you want to do are the stacked columns here. So stack columns, and you can see that the data comes up right away. Now, what we want to do is we want to edit the data here and actually change the x values to be billions of years before present. So what we'll do, you could right-click or control-click on a Mac here and go to Select Data. So you want to go Select Data. And once you're there, you're going to pick the first thing you want to do is pick the x-axis labels down here. And so what we'll do here, we'll select this little screen here, which will open up a box. And now we can go right to the Excel file here and select the billions of years here. And so we'll just go across here and then make sure you just do the one row. And then we'll go back and click on this. And you'll see that's going to change our graph right away. We go from 4.5 billion years down to 0 billion years, right? So, and we only have carbon dioxide as our first variable. And so saying that, the next thing we want to do is actually label what that series is. And that's going to be carbon dioxide. So we'll put CO2. And that's all we have to do. So the next thing is, before you hit OK here, let's add another variable. And so now for series 2, that's going to be our second variable, and for the name we're going to call it nitrogen gas, so N2. And so now for that variable y-axis, we're going to select the values for nitrogen, and then we'll close that back up, and now you can see that it's populated with the nitrogen values. And so we keep doing that. Now we're going to add oxygen, O2. And we'll select the y values for that. So remember, we'll just keep the same x values, so we're not going to change that one. So there's the y value. And now you can see that the oxygen's been populated there. And now let's add one more data set for the other gases. So we'll call this other gas. And then for the y values here, that one it's going to be this series right here. And then we'll close that, and you can see that the purple has been populated there. So now we're done with that. Now we can take a look at we'll expand a little bit here, and take a look at our graph and add some labels to it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to double click on the y-axis here. And when we do that, that's going to open up the data range. And note that it goes to 120. Well, we can only go as much as 100%. So let's change the 120 just to be to 100. So that way it just goes from 0 to 100%. Now the next thing we want to do, we want to label these axes and give our chart a title. And so to do that, we're going to go over here to where it says chart layout. And under chart layout, first we're going to do this chart title. And so we'll do it above. And so here, we're going to call this, and now we want to go over here and do the axis titles. So for the axis, we'll do the horizontal, which can be our x-axis. We want to go below here, and we're going to call this billions of years before present. Okay, so we have that axis. Now we want to do the vertical axis, which will be our y-axis, and we want to do it vertical title, I guess. And here we're going to call this we'll just call it gases. All right, and so there it is. So now we have the stacked bar graph, and you're ready to answer. So what you want to do, you'll want to either take a pic of your file or print this and then submit it, but you want to submit this graph, and then you can use it to answer the questions in exercise 2, Earth's evolving atmosphere. Okay, well that's it for now.